ladies and gentlemen, I am in a 2000 Porsche 911 Carrera 4. Yes, I'm in a Porsche right now. This being the Carrera 4, it doesn't have the normal 3.8 that every 911 you know has. This has the 3.4, and like every Porsche out there, it is not mid-engine. A lot of people believe it to be mid-engine, but it is jammed in the rear bumper is where you'll find the engine housing itself. That can be great for weight distributed. This 3.4 does put out 300 at the dot horsepower at 6,800 RPM. So this thing redlines exactly at 7 grand. So she's kind of a screamer, guys. Now torque, it is on the lower side. It has torque, but not an ungodly amount that's gonna, you know, drive you insane. It's got 250 foot-pounds of torque at 4,600 RPM, which if you put that into a car like this that weighs 3 grand, this thing is a rocket ship. I had to see what was under the hood. Of course, you know, take it out for a little test to see all 300 horsepowers and 258 pound-foot of torque. Yeah, it's a lot. It's I'm not even gonna say what exactly it does, but it puts a smile on everybody's face, and that's, you know, that's all that matters, right? Like every great Porsche ever made, this is a 6-speed manual transmission, which I don't see a reason why somebody needs to buy. I don't even think they make automatics. If Porsche makes an automatic, they probably made it because your grandma wants to take her Porsche out for a spin. In Illinois, there are some quite shitty, and I mean shitty roads. This being a touring spec car, I would say. It's not a GT. The suspension's stiff. Okay, that's all you need to know. Combine the stiff suspension with the shitty roads in Illinois, it's a bit bumpy, let's just say that. You guys have to remember, this is a 911. This is the pride of Germany, so to say. This is Porsche's, you know, other than the 918, which back in 2000, they didn't even know what a 918 was gonna be. But this 911 is the pride, the joy of Germany. But let me tell you, so I drive my car, a 2015 Mercedes CLA 250. It's got the sport package on it, so you know, it's got some different body panels and trim work on it. It's a great looking car. You know, I enjoy the look of it. It's a reason why I bought the car. But let me tell you this, I've been driving this car for about 5-ish minutes, and I've had more people break their necks looking at this car than I've ever had owning my car. Of course, this is gonna be one of the best looking cars. This is the best looking car on the road. You know, the older Porsches, you know, the 996s, the 993s, those are, you can have, yeah, you can even say the 997s, the new ones. You know, not the newest. You can say those are great looking cars. They're all, anything in a Porsche body, I believe, other than if you get past the fact that it's a Beetle, they are great looking cars. We got to get past that stage of, is this, you know, can you daily drive this car? And believe it or not, the owner of this car daily drives this. Not only does he daily drive it every day, but he commutes to work, and it's about roughly 40-50 miles, maybe more depending on where he lives, just one way. Yes, if you're asking the question, can you daily drive a Porsche 911 Carrera 4? Yes, you can daily drive a Bugatti, for all I care. You can daily drive whatever you feel the need if you want to, you know, put. This car itself has 65,000 miles on it, which is not bad. Not bad for a Porsche that's 16 years old. I'm pretty sure was daily driven by the first owner. He's not the first. He may not even be the second owner. He might be a third owner. Doesn't matter. It's a Porsche. Drive it. It's your car. Love it. Abuse it. Back to what I'm saying. If you choose to daily drive this car, it is 17 miles per gallon in the city, and you can get 25 on the highway, which for a 2000 sports car, you can say this is a supercar, actually. For a 2000 car, 17 to 25 is not too bad. the driving experience. That's what everybody wants, right? So first thing I want to get off my chest, because it's something that I never got to experience, and I was kind of nervous when I got the offer to drive this car. I've never driven a supercar manual transmission. I've never driven, this is the first time I've driven a car that, and I can't say that cost over 100,000, because I've driven cars, plenty of cars that cost over that. But I'm saying a supercar, a Porsche gearbox, really light flywheels, really, you know, engages really late, high revving from the flywheel being light. I was nervous, not gonna lie, okay? This clutch, this transmission is probably the best I have ever driven in my whole life. And this is really easy to drive. You know, I'm convinced I can put my dog in here and he'll take it on the Autobahn and do, it says 175, I'm pretty sure it does about 150. About getting somebody in the back seat. That's a funny joke, isn't it? You're not gonna get somebody back there. So this is a two-door. You buy a 911 because you want to drive it as a driver enthusiast car. You don't get it to go get groceries. You daily drive it, you daily drive it to yourself. This car is something else. I can say I've driven a lot of cars of very different price ranges, you know, from $100 cars to $100,000 cars. You know, this car, brand new, costs $75. And I'm not saying that's the most. I mean, they go up. But this car is the best I have driven yet. Everything about it, it's just, it's the type of car you can take to work and then on your way home, stop at the track, do a few hot laps, go home for dinner, feel good about yourself because you drive a 911. I believe the newer 911s, you know, cost over $100,000, which, you know, you got newer technology. This has the bare minimums. But a Porsche isn't about this, guys. It's about driving. All that matters is your hand on the steering wheel, your hand on the stick, and nothing more. One great thing about these older supercars is they're starting to depreciate quite a bit. You know, they're getting old, a ton of them around, and what depreciates them is there's a ton of newer ones around. So you can virtually pick this car up for really cheap, actually. You can pick this car up for probably 30, 40, 50 if you want one with low miles on it. Seriously, guys, I cannot get over the fact how easy it is to drive this car. I'm, you know, just an average Joe, and I'm driving this car with, literally, I hopped in it, put it in reverse, nice and easy to get in reverse, you know, not anything like a BRZ where you have to lift the knob up and, you know, do a somersault. It's nice and easy. Now, I mentioned to you guys that this is the Carrera 4. 4, believe it or not, does not stand for, you know, 4-cylinder or 4th edition or 4 something special, 4 turbos. You know, screw twin turbos, let's go 4. 4, believe it or not, stands for a all-wheel drive. So this is a 911 all-wheel drive Porsche, which normal 911s are rear-wheel drive, you know, everything's in the back. Like I said, the owner daily drives this car, and living in Illinois, we have one of the best winters in the world. If you can't see my sarcasm in that, just go to Illinois for a day or two during the winter, and you'll learn to love your life quite a bit. Wrapping up things, this has been more than what I expected. I mean, this car is amazing. This car is excellent, easy to drive, and that just puts, you know, the cap on German engineering. Is excellent, is amazing. Smooth gearbox, smooth, you know, shifts, fun to drive. You know, it gets, when you want to go, it gets down and goes. When you want to just relax and drive on the interstate, it does that. This car is phenomenal. And the great part about their you know, forget about the 80s. The 80 Porsches, those are going to be more expensive than a brand new one at the dealership. But these late 90s, early 2000s are depreciating, getting into the price range where people, you know, who aren't making tons of money can afford one. and get to enjoy it, you know, either if it's weekend driving or if it's daily driven. To be the fact to get in and sit in a Porsche and say, this is mine, you know, feel the power. So guys, this has been my review of Porsche's 911 Carrera 4. I love it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, check out all of our social media network. There is a lot of new things coming to 208. So always be on the lookout for new videos. Thank you for watching the 911 Carrera 4.